All right, so in today's episode, what we're going to be doing is taking a look at Apple. It's a big kahuna here, so we'll take a look at is now the time to buy, and are we looking at a little bit of a prediction based on the chart? So I'll give you some of my takes on this company, and overall, if we just take a look at what's going on and happening with overall the market right now is pushing higher. We've got Apple, IBM, Meta. I mean, Meta's up a lot. Nvidia's also up, but we've got earnings there right around the corner. So just watch out for earnings on Nvidia, Shopify, Netflix. I mean, there's just a ton of companies there that are just pressing into higher prices. So when we're looking at Apple, we're also pushing about $4 and up 2.32% or so. So the thing is right now, if we look at this company, it has pulled back quite a bit since the past. Even now, even though we're up a lot, we're still back about almost 3 months to where we were. About 2.7, about 3 months back of a pullback. Now, if you got a little bit earlier, looking back into that, that would have been about 3.5 months of a pullback. So this stock from these recent highs did pull back about 13%. And even from there, we are still down about 8.44%. So this stock has pulled back quite a bit. So could this be the golden opportunity for you to get into the stock? And I think it, it's a caution one because we've moved quite a bit, and it's one that people like to have in their portfolio. So if you just look at the movement, it's been very strong, very stable for a long period of time. People, when they buy into the Apple ecosystem, they don't change that often. It's a pain dealing with them, in all honesty, and because of that pain, it's more difficult to switch. Here's the thing. The volume right now picking up, it's a little bit lighter. So I'd be a little bit cautious. If you're going to do anything, it'd be more like a nibbling opportunity for me. Even though we are past this moving average and stock has been stable, I'd be a little bit careful because this is kind of the first big day that we've had in the market. If you look at the SPY and just look at all these red days that we've kind of had, we just really had just a few recent ones that are kind of coming into some greenery or some positiveness. Otherwise, we've been just pulling back lately. Now, we did bounce off of this support level, so that's kind of a good sign. But it's still a sign of concern because now the question is are we actually trending down? Or is this just like a pullback with a normal healthy pullback and then a pop higher? So I will say in general, normally these are kind of pullbacks because that's just mostly what happens, and then you bounce higher. Because if you have more of a continuation downward, usually you get more panic and a flush. So what we're doing is we're kind of looking at this stock right now. I think it's going to pop and hold this price level or around this area. So that's what I'm looking at. So from a monthly perspective, I mean, just look at this stock. So from a trend basis, we're continuing along this trend and around this angle. So, there's nothing that states it's going to roll and rotate over. The volume overall based on, from the past, like look at that, there's a ton more volume there, but now it's just kind of become more like a household name, stable and less exciting, kind of becoming more of like a general company to own. So I think this could be a nibbling opportunity here, and we could press higher. I'm not saying we won't have a little bit of choppiness in this area right now because it's still kind of that first, second day and you're not getting follow through, but we are pulled back still about 8-9% from those highs. And I think it's one to kind of watch and closely. Normally in these cases, if I'm telling a family or a relative, you buy some shares, grab the super glue, hold your nose, sit tight, and kind of wait for a push higher. So that's kind of the approach you look at in these companies. But the other thing is look at nibbling, getting a few shares here. So let's say you're trying to get 100 shares, you could get 10 here, and then let it go again, 10 more, 10 more. So as you're starting to allocate and spread things out, and if you're starting to see it get into this gap right here, this zone, then I'd be a little bit more aggressive. Like then you could buy 50 shares and then you're building a position into the 70, 80 shares scheme or level. Because once you're getting back up here, you're back into those higher levels. So if you can, try to allocate a little bit here. If you pull back, have some money set up for this zone, And if you get into this zone, you probably will fill the gap. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with Apple. So far, it looks pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of news out there with Apple. It didn't have a really good August, but this could be like a nibbling opportunity. It's still down about 8%. So with that pullback, you're back about 3 months. Could be a way to kind of nibble again and get a little bit more shares or action. So hope that helps. Truly appreciate you sticking with me. Don't forget to check out the Traders Fly website, where we share a little more insight about trading options and those kinds of things. Highly encourage you there. There's a lot of great freebies there and much more. You can check out some mini courses, some free PDFs, and those kinds of things to continue your trading and education. And of course, check out the links in the description. There's a lot of webinars you can also attend to absolutely free, and the Critical Charts website, where you can get these videos and read some of the transcriptions and other content and details. So I'll see you there in the next video. Take care.